must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome, man. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to extend a very special invitation to join the Special Olympics for a fantastic game of bocce ball coming up very soon. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard. And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much. There are many things in this country that I like, and it's not just the competitiveness, it's the civility, the charitable nature of men who come together and celebrate, and together we champion so much. Well, Special Olympics. Now, for some of us, we recognize the importance of opening up spaces for all and Sunday like to be able to enjoy. So, Mr. Cole, I am grateful that you and the team are here once again. I think we're in a good fortune. We'll have one more opportunity next week, I think, to have a conversation. But today, let's make hay while the sun shines. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stilling. Yes, it's always a pleasure to talk about Special Olympics in general. And of course, bocce is my baby. I've been coaching it for years. And we're really pleased to be hosting this regional tournament here. And I'm so glad to be sharing the mic today with one of our athletes, Ms. Anna Newman, and our coach, Ms. Helen Arana.
Now, I certainly want all you to talk, and Ms. Helen in particular, but Anna, for you in particular to share whenever you want. It's so great for me to be able to enjoy a game. It may be in your backyard with your daddy and you're playing some marbles, and it may be learning to spin a gig and teaching your son. It might actually, be something that you never thought you could do, right? So at some point, whenever you want, we want to ask you about your gameplay, Cool? Cool. All right, well, through you, Miss Nicole, would you, set up the stage for us? Because for bocce, I say bocce ball, is that what you should say? Or just bocce?
Bocce is normally enough, but for persons who are not aware of it, we normally describe it as being similar to lawn bowling, where you have a target or a palina, which is rolled out by one team, and then the idea is to get as close as possible to the target for the two teams that are competing against each other. Everybody looks at it initially and says, God, this game is so easy. And then they roll their first bocce ball, which is the larger of the balls, and they're like, oh my goodness. So it's a game of skill, it's a game of accuracy, it's a game of strategy. So you think, okay, I'm just going to roll to the target, but then your opponent may already be blocking you, so you may need to knock their ball away. So there's a lot that's involved in it. And I think why I like it so much as a Special Olympics sport is that any athlete of any ability can play. So whether you're a high-functioning athlete, whether you're an athlete in a wheelchair or using a walker, even if you may be slightly visually impaired or hearing impaired, you can still play. So it allows, through the divisioning process, all athletes to get a chance to participate and have that joy of playing a sport.
So hand-eye coordination is key.
Yes.
Dexterity.
and, as I said, strategy.
So Susan, we're out. We can't play. I was hoping that you would be.
No. We throw out the invitation to you all because we're still training and we meet every Sunday, and we really welcome persons to come out and get a hand at the game, try their hand. Definitely.
And when a sport makes it into the Olympics, it's to me akin to a person finally arriving, getting there. That means, but just casually, I was trying to look at different sports, bocce, lawn bowling, cornhole. There are many games that have similar sort of attributes. But Miss Helen, maybe let's invite you into the conversation. I know you're excited and eager to jump in this conversation. Take a deep breath. Let's go.
Yes. All right. Fair. So what I wanted to do is just basically remind everyone that in addition to the fact that it's a strategy game, you really the athletes have to really sit and think about how it is that, because they have to think ahead. So they're going to watch where the balls are placed, and they're going to have to think, how is it that I am going to be able to get rid of my opponent's ball so that my ball can get closer? So it requires a lot more thinking than most people initially think when they come and they watch the kids play. And additionally, the athletes are extremely excited. They come out every Sunday when it's very hot. We practice every Sunday from 4 to 6. So it's extremely hot when the athletes come out, but that hasn't dampened their enthusiasm. They come out consistently every Sunday to practice so as to be able to hone their skills. And we as the coaches, we have the opportunity to set up different scenarios to have them think through and strategize how it is that they're going to be able to get their balls as close as possible. So what Miss Nicole did, to add to what Miss Nicole mentioned regarding the game, so you've got a palina, which is the smaller white ball, and then each team has 4 balls. They have 4 red balls and they have 4 green balls. And the amount of balls that you can get closest to the palina determines which of the teams would have won.
Right. And you can hit your opponent's ball and actually move it closer?
Yes, that's a strategy. I call it, when they do that, I tell them Santa Claus. You're being a Santa Claus, because what the goal is really is that if your opponent's ball is close to the palina, you want to hit their ball away and try and ensure that your ball is now closer than their ball so that you can get the point.
Okay. And just for play, some games, just so that I understand, you can toss it in the air. Like in cricket, you want to lob it or whatever, but this one you have to let it roll as well?
You have to let it roll on the court, right. Yes.
Unlike bowling, where you start off with a roll, this one you can toss it in like an arc and let it drop and roll. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you can do a drop and roll, but you must release the ball from below waist height. Yeah. So it can't be like, you can't have your hand way up in the air as you release it. Right. So that's the only stipulation.
Unlike bowling and unlike baseball or softball, you can't pitch the ball.
No.
Basketball, you can't do.
But the good thing with bocce as well is that it's played on a court and there are frames around the court. So you can actually use the sides of the court as for your advantage. So some athletes, if they play the palina or the target down the side, they then can bank their bocce balls down the side. So that's also a game of strategy.
So like pool, where you can bank it off and come in.
Yes, that's allowed as well.
I don't want anyone to think that I know what I'm talking about, other than an observation. And why is that? It's a game. I like what sometimes you shared. It's a lot of strategy, and looking at it, you think, oh, it's like yoga. Oh, you just stand there and pose. There's no strength. You don't need to worry about it. You don't sweat. Do it for 5 minutes and tell me if you're still upright.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the biggest joys we have. This is why I always invite people to come and play, because you often see, as soon as persons pick up the bocce ball and they start to go at it, you see the competitiveness come in. I mean, it's always so amazing. And we even have our athletes looking at some of our volunteers who are playing, and they're like grinning to themselves. They may even be giving them instructions as to what strategy they can use in different situations. So it's really, really enjoyable.
As we go into the break, 2 things. When we come back from the break, we want to hear from your star athlete, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. And secondly, as we go in specifically, you're talking about practicing, in the cool of the day between 4 and 6 a.m. The public can come out as well, right? And learn the sport and have fun. Right? So we're going to talk more about that invitation, where it is and how often, and if I'm there, you bring chocolate. No, just kidding. All right, so we can talk about that. And then, of course, the contingent that will be visiting for us and the like. Miss Ellen, we can make it work, right?
Of course.
4 o'clock is enough time for you to be around?
It's sufficient.
Sufficient. There we go. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Teens and young people living in Cayman, it's time to use our voices. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is putting together a 10-year national health strategy, and we need to be a part of it. Do you feel heard by your doctor or healthcare provider? Are you included in making decisions about your health? Can you access the services you need easily? Tell us what you think. Email mohfeedback@gov.ky or log on to gov.ky/health-wellness and participate today.
This Mother's Day, Digicel wants to take you to brunch. We're giving away brunch vouchers for you and mom to enjoy a delightful feast together. Winning is easy. Simply activate the postpaid Supreme plan or the 30-day Prime Max plan, and you could be our lucky winner. Don't let the chance to treat mom to a special day out slip away. Visit your nearest Digicel store today or hop onto the My Digicel app for your shot at winning. Make this Mother's Day a memorable one with Digicel.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. There was a time in the winter of 2018. Seemed like a long time ago. It was SOCI, was it not? I believe it was not 2014. Who knows? Well, it's kind of like the SOCI, but this time it's the Special Olympics of the Cayman Islands, and I love the fact that my father has always encouraged playing participation, but he always says competition was healthy, and it wasn't playing to win. It was playing to be your best self as participants, but ensuring that spectators, no matter which team won, they got the best out of the game because it was a great game. And I was thinking about that as we were in a break and liking it to watching our Special Olympian athletes just practice, just go out and have fun. They give their all every time. And that is inspiring. Now, I don't think I'm exaggerating, Ms. Nicole.
Oh, no. And the motto for special athletes, do you remember it? Let me win.
No.
And if I cannot win, let me be
win
brave in the
the
attempt. Right. So it's very much about, yes, you want to go out there and do your best. You want to win. But if you can't win, you want to do your best.
Yeah.
And you want to be brave in what you do. So, I mean, it very much exemplifies what Special Olympics is all about. That participation, that recognition that you can accomplish. That's the big part of it. And yes, we want the supporters, whether it's the parents, whether it's the public out there supporting, really want to have an excellent demonstration for them of what the athletes can do.
And I think with any sport, the notion that you on the pitch, the field, the court, you perform and play when there are spectators in the stands.
Of course.
Beyond your mama and your daddy.
Right? Yes.
And if you've never seen competition, if you've never seen Special Olympians, I think no matter what you endeavor, you got the exam the next day, you're looking for that promotion, you got a presentation, you're going to be so inspired that you're going to actually get that thing that you set it for. I'm convinced of that.
Yes, absolutely.
They're amazing, man.
Absolutely. Yes. Our athletes come, as I said, they come out with much enthusiasm, and they come out on a Sunday, like previously mentioned, for practicing and training for bocce. We also have training on a Tuesday as well, right? Where this term, we're just doing bocce training with all our athletes. But our athletes who are going to be in the competition for this regional competition later in this month, they come out in addition to the Tuesdays on a Sunday, and we have training, as I said, from 4 to 6 at the Truman Budden Sports Complex. And we welcome everyone to come to learn the game, because our athletes would love the challenge to play persons from the community, right? Because it allows them to have some other persons who they now have to think and strategize around to determine how they're going to win a game. So it's another opportunity. That interaction will provide another opportunity for strategizing so as to become stronger and better at their bocce games.
With that, would it be okay? Because I'm excited. I might want to learn, and I don't want to give away any trade secrets, but tell us about your game. I mean, how do you find bocce? Share with us.
Okay, it's more easier. They teach us different strategies. We get to learn stuff that they teach us.
When you're playing, I call it the line. I know there's a proper term.
Oh yeah, it's a white line that you don't have to step over the line.
Yeah.
And then you have to throw the ball because it's a dead ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you find the ball heavy?
She knows the rules.
Yeah.
Very
It's
good
like
on the
a
show.
thing.
Right. Is the ball heavy to you?
Yeah, not really heavy.
You're strong, you see. So you help me with holding the ball.
Yes.
Yeah. How, because I've seen a couple of times with you guys on the court doing different sports, and with the bocce, is that one of your favorite games?
Yes, sir.
All right. What makes it so much fun to you?
Because you learn different.
What I enjoyed was actually looking at the target and hitting it, trying to see if I can hit it. Because that's okay. You can hit the ball.
Yeah.
But I found many times that I would hit the ball, and instead of hitting it out of the way, I hit it closer to the target. I'm like, no.
Because the red ball is there. So if you hit the red ball is closer.
All right. For those, Ms. Nicole, who don't, there are 4 balls each. There's the white ball, and we may not go any further than that. But how many people competing against each other at that one sort of game? Is it just the 2 of us, 5 of us?
Right, so it actually varies. So as Ms. Helen said, you have the target ball, which is the little white ball, and then you have 2 teams which each have 4 balls to roll out. So you can do singles, in which case there'll be 1 athlete in each team and they'll be rolling all 4 balls. You can do doubles, in which case each of the 2 athletes will roll 2 balls each, and you can do a team, so that's a team of 4 persons, and each one rolls 1 ball. Right. So it does have a lot of variation that's available in that sport. So in this competition we are doing singles and doubles. So our invitees, we have 1 athlete that they'll be doing singles with. So each country is bringing 2 athletes, generally speaking. Some are bringing 2 males, some are bringing 2 females. There's ones that's bringing a male and a female. So they'll be doing the singles, but then they would also be combining the 2 athletes to do the doubles competition. I will say the Cayman Islands has taken advantage of host status, and we actually have 7 athletes that we'll have participating. So we will have 2 female athletes and 5 male athletes. And Miss Helen will go through the names of those athletes who will be participating and representing the Cayman Islands in this tournament.
All right, thank you.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and mention our 2 females who are Shanique Ebanks and Anna Shell Newman are the 2 female Cayman athletes. And the male athletes are Giovanni Thomas, Marcus Smith, Wandra Richards, Tivon Garraway, and Khalid Arana.
And as you referenced, taking and using the opportunity that's provided as the host country gives many opportunities. We can put more athletes and participate, but we as a country can come out and support.
Yes.
And I'd say this carefully, but seemingly there is some truth. We complain in Cayman, there's not really much to do. But it isn't because there isn't much to do. We're not always aware or informed or involved. And bocce I used to think was kind of easy.
Until you actually played it.
One of the unique things about bocce is that we do divisioning. So we ensure that we put athletes of that have the same ability to play against each other.
Okay.
So that's one of the other unique things about bocce, which allows us, like Miss Nicole has said, to involve everyone.
Right. Miss Newman, you were going to say something just then?
Yeah, you can come out and watch us play.
And cheer us on.
Yeah, cheer us on.
And this is the beautiful part in that, there's something gratifying but also humbling about our perspective. Oh, I can do that. That looks easy. Try baiting your hook sometimes and you realize.
And one of the key parts that's really being promoted now in Special Olympics internationally and in Cayman as well is the unified concept. So in unified games, what you have is a special athlete playing or partnering with someone who does not have an intellectual disability. And even in terms of the divisioning and those combinations, it can't be that one is way above the other. Yeah. Most times the athlete is actually better at the game than the unified partner. But it does kind of encourage that working together, that understanding of each other. And it's very much promoted now in Special Olympics to promote unified sport. So bocce does have, and we have in the past taken a unified team to international competition, both in Abu Dhabi and in Los Angeles, in LA.
Yeah.
So we have been pleased to be able to do that. But bocce has been a sport that Cayman has been participating in the International World Games for many, many years, and we hope to continue to do so.
And this is where I think the support for all of us and the idea that as we play, sometimes, if I follow on from what you shared, your father's teaching you checkers, and he's better. In time, you'll get better, but when you both start to play, one person is better, right, Ms. Newman?
Yes.
So you can teach me now we get better. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. She'll show you some of her skills. Yes, on the show.
I think so. I think so. If I might then, in play, we always, and I liken it back to checkers, for instance, we always want to play with the red, versus the other cat. Is it okay to ask her?
Yeah.
Do you prefer one of the color in the balls rather than the other color? Or?
It don't matter this color.
Yeah.
That's
See, some of us have that sort of preference.
I don't mind which color it is. It's still a ball. It's a real ball.
Very good. Because what happens is that, remember, you are deciding the color by a coin toss. So it may be that you didn't win the toss. Yeah. And if your favorite color is red and your opponent picks red, you still have to play with what you have gotten, which is the green. So it really is that whatever color you do your best.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like, Mr. Nguyen, your response in that if I take that into life, it doesn't matter the person, the place, whatever's happening, we're all, as much as possible, more alike than we are not. Okay, so when we come back from the break, can we talk more about the upcoming competition?
Certainly.
I can call it a tournament, a competition,
yes.
right?
Yeah, tournament.
We're going to call it that. It's not going to be very long from now, and we're going to tell you how to be a part of it, and who's going to win. Yay! Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From boat days to beach gatherings. Leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Hi, this is Juliana O'Connor Conley, the Honorable Premier of the Cayman Islands. I'm inviting you to come out to the March for Jesus, Saturday, 18th of May, 2024. Thank you very much.
Join us for the March for Jesus on the 18th of May, 2024, starting at the 7 Mile Public Beach at 3 p.m. Then for our Thank You Jesus Praise and Worship concert starting at 6:30 p.m. on Albert Panton Street. For more information, visit our website at www.christian.ky and then click on the March for Jesus 2024 tab. See you at the March for Jesus.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
CUC Advisory. Customers are advised of a scheduled outage on Thursday, May 16th between 10 a.m. and 12 noon for sections of Prospect Drive in Prospect and a number of side roads. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky or visit their website at www.cuc-cayman.com.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for this opportunity. I think it's not just fun, it's a very, very sobering reminder of what exists. So to you, Ms. Nicole and Ms. Helen and one of our star athletes, Ms. Dwayne, thanks for coming and sharing, and hopefully through your presence here, people will be invited to be a part of this upcoming bocce tournament. Now, I know, the calendar says it's the 14th of May today. Is that what today is?
Yes,
okay.
it is.
And this tournament is like almost tomorrow in a sense.
Yes, it feels that way.
All right.
In about 9 days' time.
All
yes.
right. So tell us about it, where and how do we be a part? How much is the cost of admission?
Okay, so do I start with the best part first? Okay, so the tournament is 100% free of charge. There is no cost involved for persons to come out. and observe, watch the games. Ground Central is going to be the Lions Center. That's where all the activities will be held. And the games begin on the 23rd of May, which is next week, Thursday. The opening ceremony is later that same Thursday, so it starts at 5:30. We'll be having a torch run. We'll be having all the speeches, recognition of all the persons who are there. So we're really inviting the public to come out to the opening ceremony, which starts at 5:30. So on your way home from work, if you're traveling on that road, stop in at the Lions Center and enjoy the opening for the bocce tournament. But the games actually begin earlier that Thursday. So we actually start, Miss Helen mentioned divisioning. So we started our divisioning from about 9:30 on Thursday morning, and then we have games up until just before the opening ceremony. So we're going to have our singles competition ongoing on Thursday. On Friday, we continue with our singles competition, and we also have singles for males and females, and we do our finals and awards. So we'll be giving out the medals for our winners for the singles competition, the males and the females, on Friday. And come Saturday morning, most people are available on Saturday morning, we are going to be doing the doubles. So that will be, it's only going to be the morning session because although we have some 41 athletes, we're actually doubling those up. So it will only be about 20 teams that we have in doubles that are playing. So it's going to be a shorter time, but it's going to be intense competition. So we're again inviting the public out on Saturday morning to come out and see the doubles competition. And then we have a healthy athletes event, and then we end on Saturday evening with a party. There's one thing about special athletes, they love to party. So that's when they'll be able to say, hey, all the friends that they have met over the few days, they'll be able to really have some fun time with them.
So how that would go, Mr. Nicole? There's a party.
That's real. There's lots of music. See, Anisha is remembering her previous World Games experiences and the parties that ensued.
Can you tell us about it?
We goes out after the competitions, and we just go out and enjoy with fun.
And that's what it's about, right?
Right.
You play hard, now you enjoy it and give thanks, right?
Yes, sir.
And they make some good friends and so on.
Over there we met some new friends and greet them and tell us where we're from and stuff. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So we're going to be having 26 males and 15 female athletes. And we have a total of 17 countries from the Caribbean who will be participating. And we've invited one country from the United States, from North America, to compete. So basically, we've got 18 teams that will be part of this regional bocce Caribbean tournament.
And this, as I come to understand, sometimes there are competitions that are in preparation for international games or the world, the Olympics, for instance. But here is the Caribbean coming together and unifying, sharing a love for sport and his commitment to his people. And this is a good way to reconnect. In the Cayman context, I think we have everybody from every part of the world. I think the last census showed a few people from the moon and from Mars as well.
Feels that way sometimes.
But this is for us to end the Lions Center. Now, a bird whispered to me and said that if you thought the Beijing Olympics opening ceremony was great, this one is even better. Is that true?
Oh, yes. Well, you'll have to come and see. We're expecting great things for this opening ceremony.
This is what I hear.
Definitely. But we're also asking persons to volunteer. If you have the time and you really want to get more involved, you can reach out to SOCI at candw.ky. That's SOCI, which stands for Special Olympics Cayman Islands, at candw.ky, and you can send an email indicating on which of the days, we're looking at the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, you might be available to volunteer, even if it's for part of the day, even if you can't give us the whole day. But we are having a function on well, I shouldn't say a function. We are getting together on Monday, which is a holiday, and we're asking volunteers to turn out on Monday afternoon from, I think it's 3. Stand to be corrected. But what we're going to do is that those persons who are interested, we're going to walk through with them what the different duties are and where they would be best fit to volunteer and to assist during this tournament.
So for many times, many of us believe that we need to either know the sport or participate. In this case, you're just asking for a willing, cooperative person, take instructions.
And there are several areas.
So just women.
No, there are lots of men that are needed as well. And there are several areas. So, I mean, I am the competition director, so my focus is really on the competition side of things. But there are lots of other aspects. So we have the facilities, we have the food, we have liaisons with the different teams, we have the awards, we have the staging area. So there are so many other aspects. So again, as you said, you don't have to know anything about the sport. This is a perfect opportunity to learn, but don't let that hinder you. So if you decide, you know what, I can devote a day and a half day, and I want to spend some time having fun with some athletes from around the Caribbean, definitely come out. We will definitely find somewhere to place you where you can interact, where you can be of service to the Special Olympics.
And then for that day, of course, you reference, and just want to remind, make sure I understood, let you know, email, so you can be expected. But how long is that day? If a person has a day or part thereof, is it a 9 to 5 day? Is it what are the hours?
Right. So the day, if they can spare the whole day, it will be basically from about 9 to 5:30, around that time. But we actually have it broken up into sections because there's actually quite a lot going on over these few days. So in addition to the actual competition, we also have some coaches training, because you mentioned the Caribbean coming together, and that's what's so critical. Bocce, while it's a very popular Special Olympic sport, it's not like football or track and field that offers a lot of mainstream competition. So we are very pleased in the Caribbean to be able to get together and provide competition avenues for our athletes. Even though this is the inaugural in Cayman, we are certainly hoping that other Caribbean countries will take up the baton, run with the Caribbean tournament. But by the same token, we also want to get our coaches in the region trained up. We want to get our officials in the region trained up. So as part of this few days as well, there will be coaches and officials training going on during the day. So even if you can, like say someone can say, okay, I can spare 2 hours in the morning, that's when we have competition. There's a midday when competition is down. There's no actual formal games going on at that time, but then we start up again probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They can come in the afternoon session. So there are options with that. We are also hosting a business meeting for our leaders in the Caribbean in Special Olympics. So it's going to be quite a busy and dynamic few days at the Lions Center in the Cayman Islands.
And I think, so from that perspective of being involved in the coaching, the admin, if the athletes don't have that support, don't have that sort of instruction, their interest may wane, but more importantly, they may not be able to harness their potential. So could I ask from two perspectives, your attraction to the game in early days, and what has sustained you to rise to the level and commitment and involvement?
Well, actually, my son actually is one of the athletes, and he represented Cayman in the several years ago at Abu Dhabi, right? So it's because of him why I got interested, and we've fallen in love with the game. And so for that reason, and just the enthusiasm of the athletes, and just to watch how they have to sit and they stand and they're looking and figuring how it is that they can strategize to move a ball so that they can win, has been one of the things that has me go there every Sunday when it's hot.
How you feeling? Jesus. It's sweating out here. But thank you for sharing that and knowing a little bit about that. This is where us as parents, we need to be engaged and involved in our children's lives. Doesn't matter the sport, it doesn't matter the activity. From that perspective, having people like Ms. Helen, Mr. Cole involved, it's encouraging for you. We get to travel. It's okay for me to ask you, as you play, as you be a part of it, what is it that you get the most out of it? Like, what's the best part of it for you? The most fun? Is funny the word? What's the most fun?
I laugh a lot with my friends. Enjoy.
Enjoy, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what it's about, Nicole?
Yes.
Enjoying life, enjoying sport, participating.
And our athletes are always ambassadors, and I think that's one of the biggest parts, just interacting with others. As Anishel said, she laughs a lot with her friends. She gets to meet new friends. So that's one of the biggest parts.
As they come along with us.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely true. I could be at the other court doing something and her peal of laughter would have me go to see, okay, what happened over here?
And that's what we want from our people, our young people in particular.
Yes.
Laughter is good medicine, right? And you get to have not just a purpose, but a way to fellowship. And yes, you win that game, but it's
win or lose.
Yeah, doesn't matter, right?
It don't matter.
Wow.
Well, we want you all to win.
But
yes, I
think
primary for us is them enjoying themselves.
Yes.
That's the paramount purpose for what we do. Yes.
Well, I'm very glad that you came here. I'm hoping that many of us would be able to offer up a day or a part of the day or maybe a few days. We have a community that gives in many ways, and here's an ask of our time. There are some who are giving their talent and their treasure, but it's our time. And to those employers who are supportive, whether it's the community engagement or whether it's rallying call from Mr. Cole.
Oh yes,
Take us home.
I can't say it enough. Thank you very much for reminding me of our sponsors and those who have thus far partnered with Special Olympics and bringing this event out. So I just want to mention a few. This is by no means a conclusive list, but so far we really want to thank Lions International for allowing us use of their facility and all their support they've been giving. We have Tortuga, we have A.L. Thompson, Water Authority has partnered, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, EY, Flowers, Maples, Red Sail Sports, and the list continues to grow. I mean, we have always had a lot of support from our local community, and we know that those who have and even those who are still thinking about it will come forward even in the remaining few days to partner with us.
I thank you as the volunteers, the administrators, the coaches, and the athletes in particular, but for our sponsors. Ms. Helen, thank you too.
Been a pleasure.
Always good. Well, Ms. Newman, thank you.
You're welcome.
You know what? If today was a Monday, you would make it even better. It feels so great that we think it's a Friday and it's a holiday on Monday. You've given us everything, so thank you.
You're welcome.
And have fun always.
Thank you very much.
Well, looking forward to the games, and I'm glad that we have such a wonderful, giving, loving, kind, caring community. All right. Well, when you come back, we'll see how the day unravels. We're welcome you to be a part of One-to-One. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. Police are investigating a serious assault incident in West Bay from May 13th. It was reported that 49-year-old Patrick McKenzie entered a woman's residence and attacked her. The victim sustained several knife wounds and was transported to the hospital by ambulance, where she was treated and later released. The RCIPS Protective Services and detectives are encouraging anyone with information regarding the whereabouts of Mr. McKenzie to call 911 immediately. In international news, almost 450,000 Palestinians have fled from Rafah over the past week, the UN says, as Israeli tanks reportedly push deeper into the southern Gaza city. Israel's military says it is continuing operations against terror targets in the east of the city, where more than 1 million people had been sheltering. New Israeli operations in northern Gaza have displaced another 100,000 people. At least 14 people have been killed and dozens more injured after a giant billboard collapsed during a sudden storm in the Indian city of Mumbai. The billboard fell onto houses and a gas station in the city on Monday. Emergency services say a few people are still trapped under it and a rescue operation is underway. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's Urgent Care Clinic is now open 7 days per week to serve you better. Visit our dedicated team at Urgent Care Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and weekends and public holidays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. No appointment necessary. If you are experiencing non-life-threatening symptoms and conditions such as the cold and flu, sprains and cuts, earaches, nausea and vomiting, visit Urgent Care's walk-in clinic at the main entrance of the Georgetown Hospital, now open every day. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
At Kirk Market, it's so easy to eat well and find healthy options. With their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats, Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman Brac, on the 8th day of July 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the 5th child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott enjoyed a fulfilling career at sea spanning more than 50 years. He was ahead of his time, employing his mathematical and computer skills to create payroll software, depth charts of Georgetown Harbor, and his pride and joy was his weather program that could detect when a storm formed anywhere in the world and was able to track and forecast its path. He had 6 children and was married for 52 years to Bernadette Silva, whom he met during his tenure in Brazil. In 1954, when Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II visited, Captain Scott had the distinct honor shaking the Queen's hand and piloting the Royal Yacht Britannia and anchored it in the Georgetown Harbor. Captain Scott was a humble man who liked his khaki suit and cap and loved to share his knowledge with those who crossed his path. He was honored at the National Heroes Day, acknowledging the seafaring heritage of these islands.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
CUC Advisory. Customers are advised of a scheduled outage on Thursday, May 16th between 10 a.m. and 12 noon for sections of Prospect Drive in Prospect and a number of side roads. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky or visit their website at www.cuc-cayman.com.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. I say this with the greatest of love and sincerity. To be able to sit and facilitate, I get to learn I get to feel the love, and I get to laugh. And at the end of the day, I get to live in a place where I see great people doing great things. And the more that is done, the more that we see the benefit and the need to do. So thank you both for joining us. And as we look at the notion of what you're talking about, the partnership that you have, leadership in Cayman is important. Being one-to-one is crucial. That's the best way for us. We have a personal trainer, one-on-one coaching, one-on-one, tutoring. It helps, that one-to-one. Well, perhaps first, since you're the communication specialist, Miss Lisa, I'm going to ask you for a quick intro. My name is Tracy. Would that work?
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Or should we get John to just go first? John, you go first. No, Miss Lisa, we'll come to you.
Excellent.
Welcome. Thanks, ma'am.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to allow us to be here. So part of our Leadership Cayman program, which is about taking on a communication or a community impact project. So we've chosen one-to-one. And so why we're here today is to help explain what we're doing, why we've chosen it, and to help educate persons on the program and how they can help and be a part of it. So I'm Lisa Parks, communications, government communications, and class member of the Leadership Cayman 2024 class.
And at some point, if it's okay, I know you've got like 20 minutes or so, but I want to ask about being part of Leadership Cayman. And I remember the early days that's being formulated. But Miss Tracy, welcome, and maybe through you a quick little intro as well.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce myself first.
Thank you.
I'm Tracy Rankin. I'm a quantity surveyor. I work at McAlpine. We've built half of Georgetown, and I clearly needed something else to do, so I signed up for Leadership Cayman. And like Lisa has said, as part of the class, we have a community outreach portion of that, and one-to-one is the charity of choice.
This is one of the beautiful things that I get for many of us. We take for granted the beauty of the nature at our doorsteps, the beaches that are right there, the access that Barkas provides. But I think, Trace, part of that reason is that it's because it's so close. I don't want to say take it for granted, but we don't access it. And then by the same token, organizations like one-to-one, senior students, or young men and women, sometimes just need a little encouraging word, need a little guidance. I won't, with the greatest of respect, but also sensibility, I won't identify the person of whom I'm thinking. But here's a lady who has taken her business acumen, her professional skills, that thing like you, Tracy, that she brings to her job, organization, analysis, that thing that teaches you to be sensitive to time management and all those, and has taken on board a young charge and taught her some of these things. And in short order, that one-to-one has allowed these two people to connect, to grow, and the adult to learn probably more, Miss Lisa, about life and about herself, as is the young person. So with that sort of framework, one-to-one from your perspective in Leadership Cayman, you've been in Cayman, is it 578 years now? In 4 months and 46 days.
Yeah, actually 30 years. So I'm very, very proud and very privileged. And actually, I was a part of one-to-one when it was Big Brothers, Big Sisters. So I'm somewhat familiar with the program. But I agree. Mentorship can come in all forms. And the one-to-one facilitates, more of a structured environment. But Tracy and I were speaking just beforehand of how important mentorship is, and just even having that conversation with somebody, or guidance, or from professional or personal or what have you. I mean, the impact and just spending time. You could, in the greatest family environment, there's certain situations where it's easier to talk to somebody else who's objective, or who knows the area that you're speaking about, or just, from a friendship standpoint.
And Tracy, the idea, I like what you just said, you're a quantitative surveyor. She said that's so casual, as if, becoming a QS takes not just great intellect and commitment, staying in power, but time. You just don't see the degree, you got to put in some time.
It does take time. And another thing that Lisa and I spoke about before we came in the room is it took guidance. I didn't even know what a quantity surveyor was 15 years ago. And I had a general interest in the industry, but it's because of people who gave their time, even just an hour. And they made suggestions. Have you considered this? If engineering isn't right for you, what about management? What about quantity surveying? And it's those kind of things that mentorship facilitates people to empower them to make choices with knowledge.
And this is where, whether you're from a household that the parents have never been to, probably even secondary school, much less tertiary, or whether both parents have that, sometimes not having someone guide you. Tracy, I would venture to say that in school, not only were you a stellar student, but math was something that you enjoyed, right?
Right, yeah. I was one of the students that did enjoy the math and geography. And the arts weren't really for me. I appreciate them and I enjoy them, but the performance and development is not right up my alley.
Right.
And I do come from a family that was supportive, my parents are both professionals, but neither of them were in my industry. So someone outside was crucial as well.
And not to speak ill of the Cayman context in a way, but I would venture even further to share that because of that interest, you may have been guided, like many of us, into business, into accounting in particular. Oh, you're good in math. You probably would have been an exceptional accountant, acing all the professional exams with your eyes closed in the first try, but it wasn't your passion. So without someone saying to you, hey, did you know about quantitative surveying? Maybe someone had said urban planning or other things that we don't hear about as frequently as accounting and law and finance and medicine and the like. You may end up with something else that isn't as fulfilling and rewarding.
Correct. Yes. I mean, we do like to take the advice, and we take the words of our family very seriously, especially when you're young. These are the guides that you have. So even if it's not your passion, you will do it because it's the right choice or because you've kind of been pushed down that lane. But having more people that you can draw inspiration and knowledge from, I think that is part of the mission of one-to-one, just giving positive reinforcement.
Right. And Lisa, with that in mind, thinking of the Leadership Cayman initiative, yes, you've taken on board the one-to-one as your, I guess we could say, charge here, right? But your cohort for each class and your alumni over successive years allows a greater network so that many of us as young people, as students, to be able to see, as Tracy just so eloquently reminded us, all sorts of different options that may exist for a child who either have so many options because, like Tracy, she was exceptionally smart, or maybe like, I'm not even sure, am I going to even finish high school? I'm struggling today with this thing. It doesn't matter whether your parents are professionals and you have the world at your doorstep, or you're not even sure, where's my meal tonight? Having that commitment, that inspiration, that encouraging thing makes a difference.
It does. And I think, being a part of Leadership Cayman, run by the Chamber of Commerce, it really is, it provides us a really unique opportunity to speak with different persons and different key stakeholders in our community. And we see and have privilege to have the conversations of things that go a little bit more in depth. And I think when looking at it and looking at the challenges that people face, we thought, let's work on a community project or with an entity that we can help students at the beginning parts of their life. And so that it's not, at later part in life where they're, met with other challenges. Let's try and focus and put our support into a mentorship program. So that's where we chose one-to-one and thought that was a great choice for us.
Indeed. If I may invite you to guide me personally, this is for me, and if it benefits somebody else, great. But can I be, for a minute, focus on me for the first time, right? I'm of the view that if we have somebody in our lives that positive, nurturing, encouraging, has our back, we want our parents to be there, and we expect that. We want our siblings, but it doesn't matter. That was going to be good for us, whether irrespective of who we are. I would question sometimes if in the Cayman context, very much like other places, we believe that the people who would benefit from having that mentor or that other supporting cast member are these people, whatever we label them. I'm of the view that, that's all of us. Am I wrong in having that belief? Because I want to be corrected today. I don't like to be wrong.
Yeah, no. I think that some persons maybe need a little bit more direction than others, but I think that mentorship it is valuable to anyone of any age.
And whereas I would respect that there are many of us who may need a little bit more of this and a little bit less of that, or may benefit more Mr. Tracy, from that perspective, I'm also, I don't want to say concerned, but questioning whether in the Cayman context we think one-to-one or some other program isn't for my child because my child is okay-ish or not so bad or whichever. But man, if my coach played, and fielded me on the game, I got better as opposed to being on the bench. Doesn't matter if I put on a uniform or not. So do you think that there is a perception in the Cayman that certain programs like one-to-one may be just for them over there and could benefit if all of us were in that thing? I liken it to the YMCA, their summer programming. Look at the children who go there. They're all shape, sizes, and colors and favorite district, and I mean, it's a beautiful thing. What's your view, Miss Tracy? Put us all in the pot and we all eat from the table?
Yeah, I think everybody in the pot is exactly what we should be looking for, because we're talking about the Cayman context. We grew up in communities, and this helps introduce that community aspect of it. You have other people who have your children's well-being and their biggest potential at heart, you know, and it doesn't hurt to have other people who want to help, right? And it makes the community have an investment as well, because there are people who live in our community who don't have any family ties. This is also their way of giving back and participating.
And I want to, again, be guided because I love this country, and like many of us, and I recognize how beautiful, but how easily sometimes we take much for granted and how fragile it can be. So knowing who my guests were, knowing what the topics, and thank you very much for the speaking points. I promised you I did print it off. I might actually look at them in this kid. I thought of asking you, and I want to be guided two things initially. First, to Miss Lisa, knowing you over these years, I'm glad you said, how long you said. So that means we're only 35 now, I think. Yeah. Seeing the changes in Cayman, but seeing also how many of us have embraced it, people can look at you and say, wow, I can see myself reflected in you. I can get into this area. I can transition from different aspects of their careers. That gives somebody a bona fide person right down the street, across the hall. That makes it much more, I guess, easily for connections to be made. How do we speak to that? And the same with I'm not going to say Tracy's younger. We won't say that. But likewise, another young Caymanian who has taken on a career path that for many, you could probably count the
There are not too many quantity surveyors unless that are women. Yes.
Okay, I was trying to figure out which is true.
Yeah.
Right? There are like 5 billion accountants, I think, in the world of 4 billion people. Like government math.
I think we really need to, we're focusing on one-to-one and the program and the structure that they have in place to, have training and facilitate and what have you. But I really think as a community, we have to, do that extra effort by having interns or becoming part of a community group or what have you. I mean, we all can reflect that growing up was difficult. And I don't know if I'd want to be a young person in this day and age either. So, the challenges. So I think that it's really up to all of us if we have an opportunity to share learnings, whether it be in whatever, format. I think as a community, we need to.
Yeah. Can I pick up on that?
Yeah.
I said with two things, and I was hesitant for the second one, but that's kind of close enough. This park adjacent. To Tracy, being a young person in this day and age, we hear some parents say, "Boy, I wouldn't not want to be having children today because of all the things, the technology and the influences, the landscape that you have to navigate." I'm sure it was horrible when we were then, but thankfully there wasn't much street lights and cell phones. So, Ms. Tracy, with that in mind, how do we get us as the adults, the professionals, to recognize that our children are very much the same as we were? In fact, they're probably not as bad. And we have to be blame and condemn them and only see the negative.
Yeah, I think technology has changed the way that we perceive so many things just because now we can see it, right? Or it's recorded. It's
reminding us every day, yeah?
Right. I'm sure we got up to all kind of badness.
No, you don't. Your mama say different.
But I think the youth growing up now, they have unique challenges that only their generation and those to follow will face. And we need to just be understanding and patient with them and offer all the support that we can.
All right. Well, as we talked to Trace Rankin and Ms. Lisa Parks from the 2024 Leadership Cayman cohort, is that the right term?
Yes, perfect. Yeah.
I know that as you talk about one-to-one, and any organization that can benefit from genuine people who are interested and committed and involved, and you may have an hour a day, you may only have an hour, a week or whatever your time. Once you do that, it can make a meaningful impact. Pickleball is something that I hear is coming on the scene. People are playing. You guys had something planned, but maybe next time you have to get a team, but now you can still come. Well, tell us what's going on.
Well, we have a pickleball. So what we did is we created a free pickleball tournament, and to allow people to come out and play and enjoy themselves and learn more about one-to-one. In an awesome manner. I mean, it was great. It's sold out, but also looking at that demographic of persons, interested as well. But we're having that as an information session as well. So although the pickleball tournament, our registration is full, we're going to have a lot of mentors there, mentees. We're going to have an opportunity to just ask the questions and find out what is the commitment.
Right.
Because there are commitments. We really want people. You don't want to make a connection and then, after so many months say, well, this is not for me. So we have to have persons that get involved in the program and understand the commitment level. And then, of course, there is the alignment. Not everybody matches with everybody. So, you can say you have 8, youth that need matched. You're not going to have the same 8 persons that you need volunteers. So, finding that good mix. And, so that's really, we're looking forward to an opportunity.
And I think many of us want to give of what we have. We genuinely want to connect to something that I would liken it. You're the marketing guru. A company wants an athlete that meets their brand and helps to promote them, and not at some point, ending up embarrassing, perhaps, right? Let's use that word. With that in mind, this pickleball tournament, when is it coming up?
It's going to be this Saturday.
It is.
The 18th of May.
This Saturday already?
This Saturday, yeah.
What time?
We're going to start at 2 p.m.
In the cool of the day.
Yeah, in the cool of the day, but it's got a nice cool environment, so not to worry there, and there'll be plenty to do.
Yeah.
And speaking of the cool of the day, it is the heat of the day, but in the cool part of the facility. So we have all the shaded courts that have been reserved for our event.
I heard that
we
through
thought
someone.
about you,
It was my hair, wasn't it? I appreciate it. And you said she wasn't a nice person. No, she didn't say that. No, but thank you. You saw where I was going with that. The consideration that you extend not only to your, sort of invited guests who hopefully become more involved, but your participants, and the notion that safety is always the aspect, safety from potential heat exhaustion, but the way you match, evaluate, and the requirements. So if you're interested in how do we get involved one-to-one, well, here's a way to appreciate.
I mean, great. It would be great if people came out to speak to people in person. However, you've got one-to-one.ky, which is the website, the social media pages, One-to-One Cayman. You can go on Facebook, you can go on Instagram. And then there's twice per month virtual orientations. And so you can join that, ask any questions you may have. So there's a lot of opportunities to find out information, and and then we'll all be around on the weekend too. So we do encourage persons to come out, because I think then when you can speak with mentees and mentors, you can really get a feel for the program.
I think we start to recognize, and as we wrap our discussion, I want to maybe ask this and also ask you, if you wish, to talk about Leadership Cayman program from the perspective that it doesn't matter. I think to the early days, the presentation of it as well. If you're new to a particular area, here's a way to get acquainted. But if you've been here all your life, you've been here for decades, you realize how much you don't know. So we can close off with that. But first, to you, Ms. Trace, the idea of being a mentor, the idea of having someone mentor you, not just you personally, you only appreciate that positive, profound impact that it has decades on. So encourage us to consider, sending our children, but also stepping up and mentoring as well.
Yes, definitely. I think that mentoring is very rewarding, and even in the perfect circumstances, children, they don't really believe anything their family says, because that's expected. It's like you're entitled to tell me these things, so maybe they don't take the word of their family members as seriously. But hearing it from a different horse, they appreciate that a little bit more, or something that they considered is now reinforced, or maybe they're redirected somewhere, that they hadn't considered before. And it's definitely beneficial to every party, something that you touched on earlier, possible negative connotations. These aren't necessarily troubled youth. They're just someone who needs a little bit of assistance, somebody to just have a good conversation with them. Just talk about life experiences. And going back to the matching, you're not gonna. You made the sports analogy. You're looking for athletes. You need a high jumper, and a track star shows up. It's like it's misaligned, right? Yeah. And 1-to-1 does take their matching very seriously. There are mentors who are on the wait list because there isn't a mentee that quite would be a meaningful match for them. So they do take it seriously and make sure that the mentee can most benefit from who they're assigned to. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you shared that, because it just shows how many of us want to help, but not enough of us sometimes are available, both as the giver as the receiver. If I was looking for information on product for my hair, I know who to ask, right? And
ask me.
That's actually something.
But one other thing we wanted to say too is that our eastern districts, and those right now are really in a greater need, because of course there's travel time there. So we really want to find mentors within those districts, because there's kids in need in that district, and you don't need to add the transportation, the distance in there. So we're really trying to seek.
Right. Well, I commend, say a handful, maybe it's 2, 3, I don't know, of your mentors and your mentees and their commitment, on a regular basis. Thank Her Excellency for hosting and being and that opportunity to give back. The two of you not only able to represent, as ambassadors for your cohort as Leisure Cayman, but supporting this 1-to-1 program. This is why I love this place, man. I feel it's just great. Right, Miss Lisa?
Yes,
it is awesome.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Any quick final thoughts from you, and then to Miss Tracy? In particular, if I could close up by asking, let me say this way. To our people here, don't take Cayman for granted. The safety, the security, the civility, the sanity, the access to our politicians to compliment and castigate them, that doesn't exist everywhere. No, so let's not take it. And like us who've been here for more than 2 decades, and to Miss Tracy, we can make it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to close with saying that we have a beautiful country, and it's all our responsibility to make sure that it continues and improves. And of course, that seed is with the youth. We need to raise them up and guide them as best we can. And sometimes that is in the form of a commitment to membership, and 1-to-1 is an avenue for that.
Right.
Fantastic.
Oh, amazing, huh?
Yeah.
I don't want to say other babes. I'm not going to say that. But thank you all. And this is why when I look at Cayman and there's a statue, Blessed Miss Georgia would remind us of the champion that our women are, to see what they have done, what they continue to do. You guys embody, epitomize, and every time I look across the table and see my sisters, in particular, it's people like you that I see. So thank you very much.
Thank you for this opportunity.
All right. Well, this Saturday, if you want to get more on 1-to-1 and maybe watch pickleball in action.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 p.m.
Spectators are
2 p.m.
welcome.
Yeah.
So
in the shade.
In the shade. So 2 p.m. we are gonna have some beginners clinics. So if you're new to the sport or you just need some refreshing, there's a little opportunity, and then the tournament kicks off at 3.
All right. So 96 degrees.
Yeah.
In the shade.
That would be the situation. Yes, that's the situation.
You know what? You imagine if I can be like on Friday, if today's only Tuesday for me. But thank you all very much. And
Excellent.
Invitation stands, open public invitation. Come on, individual, collective. Come on with your respective entities. Maybe you can coordinate with Ms. Tracy as her agent and have her come on and talk about her career.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, I've been voluntold.
Well,
all right.
And if you ask it publicly, they can't politely decline, right?
Yes, exactly.
Traps.
All right, but no. Thank you and all who volunteer in our country and who give of, as Ms. Marilyn reminds us, of their time, of their talent, and of their treasure. And the most that we appreciate is a genuine commitment of time. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Watch your ball on Saturday, 2 p.m. Who knows who'll be there? All right. And, our Special Olympians have theirs coming up. So, where are we going, Miss Susan? Where are we going? Spring Garden are coming. Okay, hold on. We'll be right back.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
This Mother's Day, Digicel wants to take you to brunch. We're giving away brunch vouchers for you and mom to enjoy a delightful feast together. Winning is easy. Simply activate the postpaid Supreme plan or the 30-day Prime Max plan, and you could be our lucky winner. Don't let the chance to treat mom to a special day out slip away. Visit your nearest Digicel store today or hop onto the My Digicel app for your shot at winning. Make this Mother's Day a memorable one with Digicel.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its customers and the motoring public of wastewater infrastructure upgrade works along West Bay Road adjacent to Burger King and Cayman Way. Preliminary activities will take place on Tuesday, 7th May, with the main works beginning on Wednesday, 8th May. These works are anticipated to last for several weeks. During this time, access to the southbound lane along West Bay Road will be somewhat, but not entirely, restricted. Water Authority Cayman and its contractor will maintain two-way traffic throughout. Traffic signs will be in place in the general vicinity of the works. All motorists are asked to drive with caution to ensure their own safety as well as the safety of the Water Authority and its contractor's staff. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it upgrades its wastewater infrastructure and apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Teens and young people living in Cayman, it's time to use our voices. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is putting together a 10-year national health strategy, and we need to be a part of it. Do you feel heard by your doctor or healthcare provider? Are you included in making decisions about your health? Can you access the services you need easily? Tell us what you think. Email mohfeedback@gov.ky or log on to gov.ky/health-wellness and participate today.
Hey there, bargain hunters. Get ready for some serious savings at Cayman Turtle Center's tent sale. It's all happening Saturday, May 25th from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. But be quick because it's first come, first served. Swing by the Cayman Turtle Center courtyard and score amazing deals on everything you need. We have candles, kitchenware, clothing, swim gear, and a whole lot more waiting for you. Brought to you by Splash Gift Shop at Cayman Turtle Center. Visit Cayman Turtle Center's social media for more info. We'll see you there. This Mother's Day, Digicel wants to take you to brunch. We're giving away brunch vouchers for you and mom to enjoy a delightful feast together. Winning is easy. Simply activate the postpaid Supreme plan or the 30-day Prime Max plan, and you could be our lucky winner. Don't let the chance to treat mom to a special day out slip away. Visit your nearest Digicel store today or hop onto the My Digicel app for your shot at winning. Make this Mother's Day a memorable one with Digicel.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. Now, you don't need a license, but you have the invitation. You don't need to have money. What's that song? You don't need money, Miss Susan, to, how does that go? See if she remembers it. I didn't give her much. It's not, does that go to, there's a song saying that you don't need this to get that. See if she remembers it. Let's play a little trivia. And here is where we're going to go with it. You have unfettered, equal access to our airwaves as we invite you to call and share your thoughts. 949-8037, 949-6990. I'm not quite sure that many of us realize that Friday gone was May 10th, according to our history books. Now, some say discovered, some say cited, some have even heard a recent question, is it even accurately recorded? Well, we're told May 10th, 1503. What happened on that day? I'll tell you what my dad told me. He said his people were there one day on the shores, and he told the passing, vessels, look, you guys, on a loss, you know where I'm supposed to be? Well, this is where I is. Now, the reason why I said that is, are we embracing our history? Are we recognizing that maybe there's much recorded in other places, from Australia to Scotland to Spain to Cuba and many in between, including some of the other European nations? If we look back to what has been recorded in history and explorations, we have to question to what extent the Cayman Islands has played an integral part of passing vessels. Now, whether we subscribe to what is increasingly said as folklore, it may have been some truth, it may have not been. But is it being reimagined, reinterpreted, redefined in order to ensure that the people somehow are relegated to the margin? Or is it that we are no longer appreciative of the vastness of our history, the depth of our culture, and the wonderfulness of our people? The Cayman context, if you ever have a chance to spend time with people who have been here for any length of time, and not just, and in particular very important that we all do, are older folks who generationally can go back and tell the tales of their ancestors. We still live in a very, oral society, and it's important that it's recorded. And even if they may not, as they say, well, I rightly remember, but we record that. But ensure that what is written down is repeated in a way that is accurate and not reflecting the narrator. I'll come to that in a second. Maybe I'll find myself in a different path, but let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Mr. Sterling, how are you?
I am well, and I pray that you are as well.
What I was saying is I'm coming to come.
Coming to come. Boy,
and thankful. We're very thankful. Mm-hmm.
So glad to hear that. Yes.
Yeah. So what you got open line today?
We have open line between now and whatever time Susan says, out of here, boo. And I tell you what, if she says to me, we out at 2, you're going to have a team of horses to hold me back. No, just kidding. We're here till 2:30.
It's good to have a good sense of humor, because with everything happening these days, you got to have some humor.
Well, yes, that is so true, and it's hard. I'll be honest with you, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody's asking me why I ain't on the radio and why Sterling having so many guests on air. I say, well, he probably doesn't want to hear from us anymore, so we just have to leave him alone until time.
Oh, at least I got you on my corner.
Even if I don't call you, I'm catching the devil out here for you on that station.
Boy. No, man. Hey, you know what? Well, you know what? Let me just listen. I'm glad that you have the opportunity now. So, what's on your mind? As Joel put in his sort of promo, what's on your mind, Cayman? Well, what's on your mind?
Yeah. Well, a lot is on my mind. We just don't have enough time. But Sterling, you know, Cayman is growing rapidly. We're talking about electric cars and hopefully coming in one day to just about all electric cars on island, or just for those that can afford them. And I wonder what's going to happen to the other cars if we become fully electric to a degree, which I know me and you probably won't be around. I hope we will be, but I doubt very much, you know. But to say electric car...
Yeah, I was going to ask you, though, as you share that, go on, and then I'll come back to two things.
Yeah, and talking about electric cars, you know, we're going now from regular car, gasoline cars to electric cars. And Sterling, I don't know if the few locals that we have left as Caymanians, they're noticing how many restaurants are opening in Cayman on a daily basis, and how many of them has a little local something on their menu to represent the Cayman Islands. You go to some of these restaurants, you can't even get a cup of regular coffee. They don't even know what you're talking about. And you can find very few locals serving you. So if we're going to go from gasoline cars, electric cars, and you're having all these restaurants that is not promoting nothing for the island, the very coffee now you can hardly get in a restaurant. They don't have regular coffee. They got this one and they got that one and blah, blah. But Sterling, I don't think anybody's realizing that all these places that is opening, they are catering to all of the newcomers who is going to be working and living here in this island, to heck with the few Caymanians that is left. So, like the Premier said some years ago, you know, we have to get with the program. If you don't get with the program, you'll be left behind. I really don't think that that program should be for everybody. We can't just throw away everything of Cayman and turn Cayman into another country to please somebody else, and it's nothing more about Cayman. You see where I'm coming from?
It's very yes, Ma. It's very interesting that you referenced that. So I've had a couple of I mean, it's not even quite 2 o'clock yet, and for some of us, you know, we've got, let's just put it this way, you know, more than 8 hours already into the day, and I'm glad that the sun comes up and that we get to see. But that change in demographic, the increasing population, the push to ever more development, to what extent, though, are we impacting people in a negative way? And to your point, how do I put this? One, I don't want to be disparaging, because I don't think that was the intent of the person, and I certainly don't want to speak out of school, as it were. But the changing facade in Cayman, the physical landscape, the buildings blocking the views to the oceans, for instance, the vistas and the shaded areas that are being created, and the increased, you know, heat island effect, as some of our urban planners have referenced, and then, well, go ahead, talk to me. I've prompted you a bit.
Yeah, that's okay, but it's so much. And you know, our roads are getting more and more dangerous. I would say by the minute. Okay, and we have to do something in regards to license department. You got to bring in something. The law need to do something in regards to issuing all of these licenses. People that have never driven a car or know how to drive a car came to Cayman in less than 6 months. They're on the road driving a car. I am not trying to defame anybody or keep anybody down. But Sterling, we are growing so much in so many wrong directions that it just is a nerve-wracking out here on the road. It's like you're not even living in Cayman anymore. It's so, it looks, you can tell it's Cayman, but your environment of the buildings, the people, the food, and all that kind of stuff, it's like it's, you know,
but
it's Cayman, but not Cayman.
Yeah.
And Sterling, before we go any further, you know, we have these terrible accidents on the road from time to time. And if anybody in the government is discussing it, I know nothing about it, because you don't have no TV station to know what is happening in our own island. We got to depend on the media the Facebook and all those different things to get some info about our island. That is a shame to know that we must have got about 90,000 people living in Cayman and we don't have a decent TV station that we can get some breaking news when it's necessary and when it's important. And you know what I see for the first time that was really decent? When that accident happened up here a couple of days ago, they had down here by Dr. Thompson roundabout lane barricaded off, and they had officers down there diverting, which I thought was very, very professional, because sometimes you got to get up on the point, and then they're going to take you and turn you around like you're an idiot. You understand where I'm coming from?
Uh-huh.
And then they also had them diverting it to Newlands, which is all good and great. But when I saw that, I said, well, my God, somebody using their brains this morning. Thank God for Jesus. You know?
Yep. But in saying all of that, though, I keep coming back to a couple of things, and I'm inviting people to guide me, and not only in my thought process and formulate my thoughts, but in how we go about life. In that we can pass laws, and if there's no enforcement of the laws, maybe it doesn't amount to anything. But what if we didn't have to have laws for a society to have a particular perspective? I call it, the societal ethos with respect to some things. Take, as you shared, the safety of our roads. Now, maybe it's attractive to some. Maybe we think we're invincible. Maybe, for some reason, that object up ahead, we can't see it, right? For whatever reason. But if we're going to speak to some of the things, isn't it that it's imperative that we speak to the individual, for each single person to take ownership and accept responsibility and responsibility. Mm-hmm.
Sterling, right there, that ain't gonna happen.
Why not?
We can't speak to everybody individually. We need stiffer penalties in this island, stiffer laws, and serious whatever it takes to clamp down on certain things.
Okay.
I mean, Sterling, I don't even want to say America. I mean, as big as America is, and they got over trillions of cameras here and there, and they got officers by the galores, and they can go there and see a car and pull that car down. Is any police officer pulling down anybody here? Oh, it's against human rights. If some did anything wrong. You don't know if they did anything wrong unless you stop and press them and ask if they're okay.
Right.
If they're talking to you uncomfortable and finding words and acting funny and asking your driver's license and they don't want to give it to you and all that kind of stuff, right then you suspect something and you tell the guy to come out the car.
Mm-hmm.
We are too soft going. We are ruining this island.
Mm. But as I listen to you, I have a different perspective in that we, right, the collective we, and those who are more visible, or whether we're in uniform because we work for police or we wear a particular uniform for our workplace, whatever it is, right? But we're all visible because we're an individual. We may not be seen, and for some of us we may be actually invisible because it seems like nobody hears and sees us. But if we all accept responsibility, and by that, let's take for instance how we the individual drive on our roads. For instance, do we obey the speed limit? Do we stop at stop signs and other road signs? When we're speaking to road users, for instance, let's take two things. Let's take two drivers, and whatever reason they want to communicate with each other. Are they going to pull off the road, right, safely out of the lanes of traffic and behind each other? And if this is going to be any extended conversation, are they going to be then sensible and safe for themselves to then drive to a better location, a parking lot, right? Or are they going to pull? Yes, ma'am.
They're allowed to park, what do you call it, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. Side by side.
Door. Yes, side
right.
by side. That's
okay.
the kind of parking that they like
right.
to do.
So let's say that's, I mean, you're getting what I'm going. This is what is happening, right? And what if it's that they haven't pulled over, or that they've pulled over but they're side by side and they're not even off the road but they're in the road. But what if they're driving along in their two lanes and they've now slowed down and having a conversation, not a quick little...
It has happened. I have seen it.
We all have, right? But what is the society's response? Are we accepting that, right? And again, I'm not going to, right now, castigate any one individual, right? But I'm just going to do two things. If you would allow me, one is ask, are we seeing this? And if we are seeing these behaviors, and it's not just people driving vehicles, it's perhaps people riding some sort of conveyance. Maybe it's people walking. I'll give you another example. I've seen it now a few times, and maybe harrowing could be a good word to use. There are 2-3 lanes of traffic on many of our roads in each direction now, with a little bitten piece in the middle with some cement or grass or whatever that's called, right? Now, I've seen a number of individuals that would walk across these 2 lanes and sashay, in one case, saunter, seemingly in a very daring way to the car. Come, hit me. Now, foolish enough to cross multiple lanes, but to do so in that way. And I'm asking, what is it that this person or these two people in a couple instances are trying to achieve? Because if
Sterling,
yeah.
Sterling, I'm not cutting you short.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
You know, I witnessed that on numerous occasions, and I'm going to give this example. A couple of weeks ago, up at the behind the Burger King, there going up to John Gray School, the bus is moving, and this child came from across the street, and Sterling literally walked in the front of the school bus. I mean, without even a blink of an eye, he just crossed that bus, and that bus didn't exist. And it was unbelievable to see a student, I would say from a high school, do such a thing. It was uncalled for, and I see people doing it on Eastern Avenue and all these other streets here. The pedestrian crossing is there. They don't touch the light. They don't use the pedestrian.
What can I ask you, right?
Not in front of you like there's no tomorrow.
Exactly. Given that you reference buses, can I ask you through you two things? One, you talked about students in school buses, so let's do that. I've seen it on a number of times. I've referenced it to individuals that I think would be the appropriate authority to speak to. And I'm not talking about police, right? The school bus, my brothers told me my directions and I paid attention correctly. If I go into West Bay, that would be northbound. The new hotel that is occupied there right before the Salt Creek roundabout. All right.
Seafire?
That's what it's called. So right there, I've seen this happen a number of times. With school bus, initially, the school bus stops, kind of gets somewhat crossways of the road, put it in nice local vernacular. The child, I still gonna call it a child, big boy as he is, gets off, and now he needs to go across the other lanes to go into that subdivision or whatever it is over there. Maybe he's catching a boat going to the Bracken. Who knows where he's going, right?
Right.
But he has to cross that. And I'm wondering, is that a good practice? I'm not in any position to tell you if that happens every day, but I've seen it a couple times over the weeks. The second thing I've seen... Sorry?
It is dangerous.
Right.
It is dangerous, and so to try to make a child cross 3 lanes.
Right.
Don't care how much you cross that bus into that lane,
right.
into that road. You don't know if another car is coming half the time. Those other cars doesn't want to stop.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. Again, buses. Now these are the little small paid buses that people use to get up and down in, right? And it's a means of income for the drivers and operators and the like. But those stop in those same places on the road. Some pull off, depending if they're in the southbound lane or not. Some in roundabouts, so much so that particular roundabout, what the guy called them the other day, he gave me a fancy term that the road engineers have, but there's little sticks that they put in the road that we see everybody go up by the beach accesses now. Something else I got to talk about in a minute. But we see that right there, right? Now, I don't know. Again, I don't know, but to me, it would seem like it would probably be a little smarter thing to do than don't stop there. Again, not only you the driver, but you the passenger. So
and stopping on the pedestrian crossing is also blocking the view of pedestrian crossing to these public buses.
But here's a behavior that is similar, becoming not only the norm, it's becoming accepted. And no, are we going to have police out there at every one of those junctions all day long, or are we going to be smart enough not to do that?
No, we're not. That's just impossible.
I would think so. But you see where I'm going. So it's back to us.
Yeah, even though if it goes back to us to Sterling, you're gonna let's say you got two hands full. One hand gonna drop up at the last end of the leg of the race to get to the building where we're gonna go with the other hand is full. And we will never come together in this island because I don't know what the people is afraid of. But when it comes to letting doors off in your face at the restaurants and in the gas stations and the grocery stores and all of that, and look at you like you're crazy and can't say good morning, all that is fine and dandy. But when it comes to standing up for something good for this island, well, I don't think we even got two hands full.
Yeah.
Well, you might get two hands full and then one hand drop down completely. By the time you get to the building, you got to go with the other half hand.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing what you do. I have personally tried to listen to every caller and to hear and to understand. I don't know that I achieve that, but I try. But I'm also asking that as you and others call, and especially what you just shared, that people would hear what I think it is that we were sharing, and that it comes back to us as the individual to be sensible, considerate.
Sterling,
Yes.
Sterling. And to think about it, to be sensible and listen to what we say and other people saying. But Sterling, we must remember now, it is sad to say it, but what we got, 35% locals here on the island and the rest is expats and work permit holders. Let me tell you something. We can't even stand in the middle of them. They will chop over us like there's no tomorrow because the day he coming out here with us because it is Cayman they want and Cayman money, and they're gonna get what they come to get.
Well,
they don't care about us.
I hear you.
They don't care about us.
Yeah. And as well, let me put it this way. We got a news break. Let me refer to it after. But thank you for calling, all right?
Yes.
All
Talk
right.
to you soon. Bye.
Hopefully very soon. Thank you. It's going to be open line. Join us after. Stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. The Public Health Department will be hosting an HPV vaccination clinic at the John Gray High School tomorrow on May 15th in its ongoing efforts to improve vaccine accessibility and coverage of the recently acquired Gardasil 9. In international news, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that Russia President Vladimir Putin must pay to rebuild what he has destroyed in Ukraine. Speaking in Kiev, Mr. Blinken said Washington has the power to seize Russian assets in the U.S. and will use them to help rebuild Ukraine. He also said that Ukraine is getting closer to NATO. Earlier, the top U.S. diplomat told Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky that military aid is, quote, now on its way. OpenAI has unveiled the latest version of the tech, which underpins its AI chatbot ChatGPT. It's called GPT-40, and it will be rolled out to all users of ChatGPT, including non-subscribers. It is faster than earlier models and has been programmed to sound chatty and sometimes even flirtatious in its responses to prompts. The new version can read and discuss images, translate languages, and identify emotions from visual expressions. There is also memory. It can recall previous prompts. It can be interrupted, and it has an easier conversational rhythm. There was no delay between asking it a question and receiving an answer. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us, as we're heading closer to the 2:30 hour. Some would you say, those media. Well, is that how you say it, Miss Susan? She said, I don't know. Me either. Well, we're going to end in 26 minutes and 26 seconds. 949-837-949-6990. Or you can WhatsApp call, message, voice note. And that number is 925-32621. It's a Tuesday. Gonna get ready. Come on, laugh with me, but help us to learn together. And as Miss John just shared, what are we doing about this country? Earlier discussions with our friends from Special Olympics, an invitation from them to be a part of, their Caribbean bocce ball tournament or bocce. And I always say bocce ball. We can volunteer and we can see like our Special Olympians through them. They've traveled. They've gone places some of us only dream about, from Germany to parts of California, which is still a nice place. I know many have different views, to Abu Dhabi and the like. Sport can take us, and in a country this size, many of our young people in particular have not only represented the country internationally, but through sport have had an opportunity to explore. Now, are we taking what happens here for granted? Well, we'll see. There is an incoming call on the WhatsApp, Ms. Susan, and we'll take that in a second. But also, as our friends from leadership came on earlier, Ms. Tracy and Ms. Lisa talking about their partnership and support of one-to-one. There's much that we can and should be doing to give of what we have. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, after Mr. Sterling.
And to you. How are you today?
Yeah, doing good.
You sounded hesitant, man. You sounded hesitant, man. What happened? You sounded hesitant.
Not really hesitant. I feel a little weary, but it just like listening to your previous caller. I mean, I've always been advocating it for safe driving. I mean, I've only had experience on the road for like 14 years, and what I've observed as a young Caymanian in our island, that I mean, we're supposed to know every square inch of this island if we really born bred Caymanians exploring and interested in our own community. But what I know is is it too hard? Is it too hard to really kind of scrub the disgusting behavior that we got and filter out the problems? Because I'm pretty sure that if we have a good government, they'll have data-proven records that show the frequency of certain individuals. And I say individuals because I don't even want to say persons or people or a person in particular. But these people, they don't seem to want to comply with our rules, our laws on the road for the safety of our people. And if I was to make a decision, I would have just recalled every single person with a driver's license less than 5 years right now. I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense, because ever since COVID started, we only start getting more and more problems. Ever since that, that's my conclusion to it. If you want a solution, I'll say recall all the driver's license that they have on this island from the people that just obtained it within 2019 or something. Just think of it. Think outside the box. Something. Is it discrimination if you do something like that, sir?
And as I listen to you, I mean, you're referencing something that many people have shared, in that there's seemingly at least a perception that we have a major issue. And is it the drivers on the road being unqualified, allegedly perhaps getting their license in a way that wasn't earned, as right out of the crackerjack box, as it were? But if that's the case, that speaks to even a bigger issue as to how that comes about, right? And you have a point, but what do we do about it? And do we have the courage to at least, if not try, at least consider, well, do we do this? Do we do that? I mean, what is your thought? Because some people listening now would say,
yeah, we should have We should have a authority on this island, like the lady said. We don't have anybody enforcing our laws. Like, we have people that be like, hey, yeah, brother, I see you on the road all the time in the car. Look, Chris, you know, just take it easy on the road, and you see him sweeping across the road again when you let him go.
Yeah.
I've seen it multiple times where the style is over preference right now. That we would prefer stylish cars on the road that drive like lunatics, right? Because obviously those people have a better reputation to have at least some sense of decency to look good on the road, but then they drive so terrible. Secondly, they have people on the road that are walking pedestrians that are clueless of the danger of these idiots on the road, and I'm going to particularize them as idiots because it's mindless to drive like the way they do.
Right.
Some of them, they be head in their phones, and it's aggravating when I see the fact that they have people that are like functional alcoholics on the road, but instead of alcohol, it's phones.
Yeah, but let me pick you up on that. It's not only those people who are as walking on the roads, crossing the roads, who are oblivious to their drivers, as you referenced, but with the greatest of respect, there are some people who walk across the road, and I've seen this more times than I can even imagine would be possible, where people are crossing the roads almost in a daring way, as if come hit me, right? And you referencing something that I have to question. Where is this coming from? What is it in our mindset? Is it something in the air? Is it in the water? This is not to be joking. This is serious.
I have to question those same things too, Mrs. Sterling. They'll call me a conspiracy theorist if I come up with a solution, if I come up to a conclusion. But I can tell you what I know what's going on. Right now, everybody is in their own little world. We're in our own little dimension. Everybody want to be left alone, and we feel a little privileged to know that we are living human beings that we must respect. All lives matter. Yeah, I understand all lives matter, but also common sense matters too. We don't have a lot of that in Cayman. And you see this crab in a bucket mentality? Oh my God. The first thing you do, you say you want to make a change. And the first thing they're going to want to say, oh, did I hear someone thinking about a revolution? Look here, maybe they need that. Maybe they need that. There are a lot of people still sleeping. They're lucid dreaming and they don't even know it.
You know, I'm going to take the call in a second.
I'm speaking spiritually because I've witnessed this. I hear observing people on the road. They have headphones on and they're like swinging their hands like, hey, you know, look at that. I seen stars last night. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm baffled when I see the engagement on the community. It's like disconnected.
Well, it seems to be that's the unfortunate mindset.
Our regular sleepwalkers look like they have more common sense than half of us. I'm saying that plain and straight because they see it. They're having fun. They're saying they don't want to come out of this fun realm because they're living in the hell realms. Yeah. And a lot of people, like I said it before, and I'll keep repeating it. I'm not a religious person, but I believe in God. And a lot of people are too comfortable in their in their familiar hell, and they need to connect with their unfamiliar heaven. They need to connect in their unfamiliar heaven, which means that they have to start paying attention to themselves and others. A lot of people on the road, the problem is that they want to drive for themselves. They're not driving for others, you know.
Yeah.
They have a few of them that drive for others. We hear them calling on the radio all the time, but the same ones that do not even listen, they should be the ones that are being pulled over every single second that they make an infraction on the road, even by regular local people that drive on the road likewise.
Yeah, man. Well, listen.
I mean, do we have a such thing as a citizen's arrest or anything like this when they know that you have someone doing something wrong? Hey, I watched shows on YouTube where they're college students that are filmmakers. They make shorts, and then there's a particular group that I subscribe to, Leto, and they show like basic futuristic like forecasting. Like, okay, you in a public space, you just come out of the airport, but you flick the cigarette out of the window and someone take a picture, you're fine. It's just like how they do it in China.
Yeah, there are some interesting things. I'll be honest with you, I'll begin to question again to what extent we're abdicating our own responsibility and giving up our freedoms. Anyway, my dear friend, we have another caller, but I'm told we have to take a quick break so we can give extended time to our caller. Let's do that. Thank you for sharing though, all right? All right,
Yes,
to our
sir.
listeners,
All right.
have a good afternoon. I'll catch with you soon. Stay tuned. We'll join you after.
At Kirk Market, it's so easy to eat well and find healthy options. With their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats, Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
The Spring Labor Force Survey and Quality of Life Survey conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office is currently underway. The Labor Force Survey seeks to collect data on employed and unemployed persons in the Cayman Islands, as well as those who are not in the labor force. The Quality of Life Survey seeks to gather information on life satisfaction, sense of well-being, financial security, economic outlook, and perceived health. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will visit randomly selected households. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the Statistics Act. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from Freedom of Information requests. For more details, please call the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974.
Teens and young people living in Cayman, it's time to use our voices. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is putting together a 10-year national health strategy, and we need to be a part of it. Do you feel heard by your doctor or healthcare provider? Are you included in making decisions about your health? Can you access the services you need easily? Tell us what you think. Email mohfeedback@gov.ky or log on to gov.ky/health-wellness and participate today.
This Mother's Day, Digicel wants to take you to brunch. We're giving away brunch vouchers for you and mom to enjoy a delightful feast together. Winning is easy. Simply activate the postpaid Supreme plan or the 30-day Prime Max plan, and you could be our lucky winner. Don't let the chance to treat mom to a special day out slip away. Visit your nearest Digicel store today or hop onto the My Digicel app for your shot at winning. Make this Mother's Day a memorable one with Digicel.
The Economics and Statistics Office is currently conducting the annual business surveys until June 14th. The surveys seek to collect information needed to answer these questions. How did the economy perform in 2023? In 2023, how much did foreign companies invest in the Cayman Islands? The surveys include all relevant entities that produce goods and services in the Cayman Islands. The surveys are confidential under the Statistics Act and are exempt from the Freedom of Information Act. Your response matters. Do your part. Fill out and return your survey forms to the ESO. Remember, better data, better decisions, better business. For assistance in filling out the forms or for more information, visit www.eso.ky or call 244-4676 or 244-4600.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us. It is open line as we go to our phones. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
And to you, sir. How are you today?
I'm good, and good afternoon to all the listeners out there in the Cayman Islands and globally.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Excellent. I'm very, very thankful, it's a good place and a good time.
Yeah, I was just finished some lunch and I was having a little Three Musketeers, so let me...
Next thing you tell me that you have some fried barra, some breadfruit, and a little couple of, scorches or some good red banana and plantain and breadfruit.
Yeah, and someone called me this morning, so they had some, or they have not had, they have some yellow heart.
Man.
Yeah.
No, if you tell me you got fritters with that, I come in look for you. Show us over.
No, let me go fishing this weekend and see what I can, so we can put with that.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah.
Thanks, man.
No problem. A couple of things. But I know you're getting towards the end of the show, so it won't take long.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
Yeah. One, the $6,000 that are given to the MPs monthly. I'm not hearing much feedback from the public whether or not they think the MP should get it or not and spend it as they feel like. In my view, if they're not paying the staff and what have you for office and this and that, and just taking it to pay political patronage to some persons. I don't want my tax dollars being used in that manner. No, so I'm going to be harping on this until I can get some response from the 19 elected representatives. Secondly, we have graduation coming up around the corner. High school graduation at the various schools, but primarily high school. You come here to school at 16. What are you able to do? What are you able to offer? What can you contribute to Cayman at 16? But they're going to let you go into the workforce. You can't drive. You're not accustomed to taking the quote-unquote public transport. Your parents either carried you to school or you took the bus. So if you now got a job as a baggage boy or a girl someplace, your parents have to still get up and take you to that job, which again still creates the same traffic problem as they have now, where parents are carrying their children to school. 16 is too young to come out of school, and I congratulate Dr. Roy Borden. We can't say Dr. Roy because there's another Dr. Roy previous to him, so Dr. Roy Borden, for raising the age at least from 15 to 16. Now, those of you who are in there now, step up to the bar and raise it, because putting a child at 16 isn't doing these islands any good.
But let me then ask, I mean,
Feel free.
as you're sharing that, there are many of us who are of the view that we've extended 1 year to the school year, and now that pushes the majority of the children out at 17.
Okay. Well, maybe I am incorrect in my, but if we have, so at 17,
Right.
what additional qualifications do you have?
Right. And not sort of, only a moot point, but to your substantive issue, then the second thing I want to ask, what would you do? I'm not going to, assume, so I'm going to ask you to be very, very direct. You're suggesting that we graduate.
Feel free.
Are you suggesting that we graduate our children from high school, their secondary sort of formal education at age 18? Is that what you saying we should do?
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that at high school, whether you go to 18 or you say, okay, keep it at 16, if you're at 16, this is still a bit young to go into university, or you do your A-levels, O-levels, or
right.
GSCXC or whatever. Those who don't go into that mold either go into the TBAC program or some other program at UCCI.
Right.
But they should not be let loose out into the public at 16.
I think many of us would agree, not only as parents, for whatever reasons, not only as employers, but just as people who, looking back, would probably say, man, I would have benefited if I were able to stay on longer doing this, right? I want you to guide me in that, because education is something like you, we value highly, and we've been encouraged as we got older, thankfully, by people close to us, as to knowledge acquisition, right? Learning and instruction in every shape, form, and fashion. But with that in mind, you've given some examples of what we should be doing. So before I suggest, can I ask you to share what other areas would you want us to be considering in order to instruct, to equip, to be able to ensure that our young people have the requisite skill sets, the tools, the mindset, and the like, to be more productive and constructive and all the good things?
Okay. I may be wrong in the year, and I may be incorrect in terms of the name of the person. But there are a couple of other civil servants who are a bit older than I am who remember, I think at that time he was the principal secretary for was it economics or education, something. But I think he was the first one to have done, in those days it was called a manpower survey, which looked at what type of jobs you would be available, be in demand in the next, whatever period the study was for. Have you had that recently?
So the manpower development survey, right?
Well, no, it's called human resources.
Oh, yeah. Good names, huh?
But that could give us an idea as to where we should be channeling our students.
Right.
Just look at a quick example. If you want to go into being a technician for one of the service companies, how many ACs we have on this island? How many dwelling units in period that require some form of maintenance? I mean, there are numerous opportunities out there for many Caymanians to make a very, very good living. And it doesn't have to be in an AC office. Granted, in this day and age, an AC office does really help, but you can still make a very, very good living by going out there and getting into these other jobs.
Yep. You're raising some questions that I think many people have been unable to ask or unwilling. So hopefully that doesn't stay for too long. Anything else you want to share with us, sir?
Okay, well, I would also like to offer my condolences to the parents and family of the friends of the 3 persons who lost their lives a couple of days ago. Again, talking about traffic.
Mm-hmm.
We found that the last administration, the new administration or the last administration, one of their actions to reduce the volume of traffic was to reduce, say you can't buy a car unless it's 7 years or newer. Or can't buy a car older than 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have how many? 15, 20, 25,000 persons who are here, domestics, construction workers, working in the hospitality industry, without a very good public, efficient, and inexpensive public transport. How are those persons supposed to get to and from work? In my view, you could have solved the problem and say, okay, if you want that, here's a very reliable public transport, until you're here for X number of years, you can't get a driver's license. Those who have a driver's license can still buy a car, but no, so you reduce the ability for the poorer persons to buy a car, buy a vehicle, hoping to make up on that now with the reduced volume, but the increased value when you charge your duties.
Well, you are making... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
We're talking about people's lives, and this is a government for the people. I'm not seeing it, sir.
Much that you shared should encourage many to consider, doing as you do and give thought to what needs to be said. Do we have that courage?
For myself, I have no problem. They can attack me all they want.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is that if they go at any of my offspring, the country song would say, you walk on the wrong side of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the answers are before us, right?
They are and they have been, and I said that Vision 2008 just need to be taken off the shelf, dusted off, updated, and before next election, you could have a plan that could guide us into the next 10, 15, 20 years. But no, we're looking for the next 4 years.
The statesman versus the politician. Huh? All right, my friend. Anything else you want to share with us as we close it off?
No, a couple of other things, but that's enough for today.
Well, thank you very much. And we'll talk. Still need to do that thing, all right?
Yeah. I could save you. That's all.
All right, my friend. Talk to you later.
Good, man. Bye for now.
Thanks very much. And thanks to all you who listen. Some who call can get through. We hopefully get a result, but we recognize the importance that we must come together. We see the problems for those who are looking. They're obvious. Maybe the answers even elude us, but perhaps they are there. Are we willing to stand in the gap and do something about it? And we can point fingers at them. And probably justifiable, so we can blame Peter and Paul and Mary and Jean and John and everybody else. But the question is, are we accepting responsibility? Are we acknowledging that we need to be accountable? And have we seen Cayman for, this bread basket, this place where we extract, and one day when it's gone, we'll move on? Or is it a place that we want to not just butter our breads, but lay our heads And at the end of the day, is it going to be a place where there's a lasting legacy because of that indelible contribution and impact that you've made? For many, it's all about me, myself, and I. Well, let's not be so selfish. Let's recognize the importance that the individual must be accountable, but the collective must be impacted. Have a wonderful afternoon, God's willing. Join Mr. Art. Come tomorrow morning. It's Wednesday already. When you join him up for, more of that engaging, informative, a very entertaining discussion for the record, and then come back for talk today. We've got a couple of things scheduled, including good friends from CBC who are going to be on the program come tomorrow. Until then, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman, since